A Black executive perspective now presents Need to Know with the award-winning hyphenated Dr. Nsenga Burton. Dr. Burton, what do we need to know?
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me, Dr. Nsenga Burton, with Need to Know with Dr. Nsenga. I am here today to talk to you about some of the things that have been happening out in the universe, one of which was the Trump rally, which really was a masqueraded Klan rally. It looked like it anyway, at Madison Square Garden the other day, and how people have had different types of responses to it. Some people were like, oh, it's just performance and entertainment. That's what he does. You know, you can't take all of that stuff literally. They don't really mean all of those hateful, mean, and white supremacist things that they have said during the rally. I'm sure you've seen it. You can watch the video for yourself, so we won't have any claims of misinformation or disinformation. Just watch the video yourself, and then think about, you know, what your thoughts are on it. And the others have just been really pissed off, particularly the Puerto Rican community, many of whom their celebrities have come out in support of Kamala Harris following this, and even Nikki Jam, who had already had a real kind of cluster with Trump, who thought he was a woman. That's how much he knew about him. When he went in to endorse Trump, Nikki Jam has rescinded his endorsement of Donald Trump. And he stated that he was going to vote for him because he believed him that he would do better with the economy and immigration. I don't know what he's been listening to. Nikki Jam needs to clear the jam out of his ears, because that is not something that's going to be positive for people if Trump is elected, based on his platform, which you should read. It's on his website. So at any rate, what I want to talk about, though, is I'm finding it fascinating that people are talking about the White House as if it is this kind of abstract thing. It's not something that has a history, a lineage, and that it's not a business. It is basically the headquarters of the business of the United States of America. And so when you're thinking about who you're going to vote for, you have to be thinking about who's going to be your CEO, who's going to be your chief executive officer, who's going to be your chief operating officer, things of that nature. And so for people to be so flippant about who might be occupying that office, and to kind of just poo-poo or blow off what we saw in Madison Square Gardens, is just really scary. Because that means that you're not able to really critically engage what you're seeing and to tie that to what we expect and our expectations are of people who lead major corporations, businesses, countries, and what have you. And one of those things is decorum, protocol. Those things are very important: how one presents themselves, how one talks about themselves, the team with whom that person surrounds themselves. So Mr. Trump is the former president. Thus and so, he can really create whatever environment he wants to create, right? He can get a lot of people to say yes. I mean, we've been talking about this, right? People who are going to vote against their own interests because they really believe in him and what he believes and what he's talking about, right? So when someone has the kind of power that he has and has been able to hold on to, despite all of the challenges and drama and trauma and whatever, accusations, convictions, in fact, felony convictions, in fact, that he has had, is able to still kind of rise above that and be Teflon. That means they really do have the power to create whatever environment that they want, and professional environment that they want. Because, you know, being president of the United States is actually serious business. So, you know, that's why they have, you know, different events where they do have comedians and people poking fun at each other and roasting each other. You know, that's a specific, you know, event for the press and for people who are part of the media, so they can have fun and things of that nature. But certain things are just not appropriate when you are running for president, and that is having a rally that looks like a Klan rally when you are trying to represent the entire United States of America. So in the same way that you would like for your CEO to do what's best for everybody in the company, not just for the C-suite, not for the board of trustees, not just for the stakeholders or investors or other folks like that, but for everyone in the company, we have to be looking for a president who is effectively our CEO of our country, which is effectively our business, who is going to take care of everyone and be sensitive to the needs and opinions and thoughts of everyone who's there. not someone who's just going to ram down our throats whatever it is that he or she thinks we need to do. You have to really think about your constituencies. So I just wanted to remind people, on Need to Know today, something that you need to know is that this is not a joke. This is actually a very serious matter, who becomes the president of the United States. And so you have to be mindful of your brand. That's what the young people say. We used to call it our professional reputation. You have to be mindful of the people you surround yourself with and who you allow to speak on your behalf, because that's what was happening there, right? You can't always be in every place. That's why you have a vice president. That's why you have a spokesperson. That's why you have a communications or public relations department where they send out the best person from your company to represent whatever interests are out there. You can't be everywhere. So you have to have your people around you who will be good reflections of you. And I just think that display of just tomfoolery at best and just sheer and utter white supremacist behavior at worst was just a really, really terrible thing to do. So I just need you to know that people are always watching you, whether or not you know this, that you can have as much power as you think you can and still make colossal mistakes, because I think that was a colossal mistake. Not only did our former president misread the room, he's misread the nation, even people in his own party. And he's Teflon, so he might be able to come back from it. But I just want you to know that we, us regular people, do not have the luxury of making those kinds of mistakes. What happened in that room would get all of us fired. Everybody would get fired. If we were being considered for a leadership role, our candidacy and application would be withdrawn. That's how that works. So, not trying to tell anybody how to vote. I'm just trying to tell you that this is an important matter. It's a serious matter who becomes the president of the United States. We can't say we're the most powerful nation in the world and then want to pretend like the White House and who's the president isn't a powerful thing. It is. It absolutely is. And it absolutely does matter who's in there and how they conduct themselves and with whom they surround themselves. All right, so that's it. Tune in next week to the award-winning A Black Executive Perspective podcast. And I'll see you next week on Need to Know with Dr. Nsenga Burton. Bye.
A Black Executive Perspective.